Hey Hope Church family, Jedidiah here from St. Lucia's Service. And today I want to share with you my journey with God through serving, how a season of disappointment, frustration, and persistent technical issues that almost made me quit ministry, I've learned to revere God's presence above my own performance. Growing up, music and audio were always part of my life. By year 8, I was already in front of my first console, and by the time I left and graduated in 21, I started working in live sound, doing everything from small weddings to large festivals. So when I moved to Brisbane and returned to Christ, I decided to start serving in church's audio ministry. And at first it was simple and enjoyable. A lot of mixing, not a lot of leading. But as I took on more responsibility, things changed. Serving became demanding, and preparing for a Sunday service meant a full week of prep, rehearsal, studying set lists, and understanding different bands. Then for almost 2 months, every Sunday I served, something went wrong. Power outages, equipment failures, wireless mics cutting out. One Sunday, the mixer crashed mid-worship, forcing us to find a fix. Another time, the wireless microphones dropped during sermon, causing awkward pauses. At this time, I was serving what I call event Sundays, where there were special performances and unique renditions of worship songs that required more commitment to preparation. The pressure and repeated failures left me frustrated and angry and exhausted. I remember praying one night, starting in tears and ending in anger, asking God why He allowed these problems, despite my serving and long hours of preparation. After serving back-to-back Saturdays of an event, followed by a significant event Sunday filled with technical issues, I felt broken. I questioned why I kept showing up, and even decided that Sunday I would quit audio ministry. The Saturday night I resolved to stop. The worship leader messaged our team, reminding us to be ready for the next morning. And for the first time, I honestly could say I did not care. I had decided that it had been my last time serving in audio ministry. And I thought that I can source someone to replace me at 11:45 that night, but somehow on Sunday I still showed up at 6:45. That morning I planned to do absolutely nothing but follow instructions. Not team lead, not answer any questions, just be in the background. I thought since I was serving with my ministry leader, I could stay in the background and let him do all the leading. But then out of nowhere, my ministry leader comes over and asked me to team lead one last time. In that moment, I prayed a short and desperate prayer. God, I need your presence today. I cannot do this on my own. During the service, something incredible happened. Midway through worship, I looked up from the mixer and saw everyone, leaders, photographers, the operations team, worshiping deeply. People praying for one another before the chairperson had asked them to pray. I look over to my program manager for the day, and he was on his knees worshiping. I look over and I try to find my ministry leader, and he was nowhere near the audio desk, but he was on the other side of the room worshiping. It was this moment where God's presence filled the room in a way I had never experienced before, and this burden that I had not been asked to carry had been lifted off me. I realized in that moment that for a long time I had been relying on my own performance instead of God's presence. I had been relying on how great I can mix and the number of days committed to breaking down a mix that I had forgotten to carry God's presence in the entire process. That Sunday night I broke down during my devotion. I realized that for a long time I had been relying on my gifts, my talents, and my performance in my serving, that I had always forgotten about God's presence. I thought if I could mix great, Then when God's presence moves on top of this great mix, imagine the response to worship. That night I came to this realization that God is the greatest performer, and His presence trumps the best of my performances. My role is not to perform perfectly, but to carry His presence forward as a servant and as a steward. The funny thing is, I always thought I knew what presence over performance was, but I had to go through this season, a season where I nearly left ministry, to understand what it truly meant for someone serving in a tech team. I want to say that everything has gone perfectly since then, but we still encounter problems. But now I look forward that I do not have to perform, but God will perform in the service. Blessed Sunday. Thank you.